Hola, ¿qué tal?
Good afternoon, and thank you for taking my question. I would like to know what is the forecast for Mexico at this point in the pandemic. There is an increase in the cases. This week we had more than 6,000 cases a day, and yesterday more than 7,000 in just one day. And we're concerned that many of the deaths are not taking place in hospital. So what is expected? How do you see this going? Thank you.
I think it's difficult to predict the trajectory of any epidemic in countries at the moment, but certainly Mexico now has, I think, the fifth highest COVID-19 death toll, and has had record-breaking days in the last week, recording nearly 7,000 cases on a single day, with its total cases now surpassing 250,000. Mexico, at the same time, is in the process of reopening, and in that period, the number of cases has increased significantly. And again, this is a pattern we've seen in many other countries. Opening economies in the midst of intense community transmission can lead to an acceleration of cases. That is not unique at all to the Mexican situation. And Mexico, like other countries, is balancing the demands of communities to get back to work and to be able to earn livings with the significant risk of increased and intensified and accelerated COVID transmission. So I think from the perspective of Mexico and other countries in this situation may face increase and a continued increase in cases over time, because, as I said in previous intervention today, if the virus is present, if the virus is transmitting efficiently at community level, and communities continue to mix and engage in normal activity, and public health surveillance is weak in that situation, and there's not the ability to identify cases quickly, as Maria has said, investigate quickly, if these two things don't work together in concert, and if you reach a point where the number of cases exceeds the capacity of the public health system to chase down the contacts and cases, exceeds the capacity of the health system to cope with the number of severe cases, then we're right back where we started in February and March, with systems effectively failing in the face of the pressure of the number of infected. We need to try and avoid that. And again, the question in a country the size that is Mexico and many other countries like it is to really look at the subnational level, see where the virus is under control and where continued reopening can continue, to understand where your hotspots are and where you may have to slow down or reverse parts of that reopening, intensify public health surveillance, intensify communications with communities. And again, it comes down to a certain extent to trust. There must be consistent, clear messaging on risk from authorities, from leaders and others. We must be honest with our communities about the spread of the disease in our communities. We must communicate that risk appropriately, and we must give people the information they need to maintain proper social distance, to engage in proper personal hygiene, to wear masks where appropriate, and we must support our communities in doing that and consistently message that in an appropriate way. Again, it is difficult for countries, especially when the individual economic consequences to individual families are negative. If you cannot go to work and you cannot earn money and you cannot feed your family, there is a huge consequence from that. And we fully understand the pressures that people themselves are under, and we fully understand from that the pressures that governments are under. But we have to find a way to balance these two important issues. We have to find a way to balance the COVID-19 acceleration against the economic reopening, because it's very, very clear from a number of countries that opening in a situation where you have intense community transmission and weak public health response leads to a difficult situation that may push a whole country back in terms of the progress that it makes. And that is not inconsequential. And blind reopening, not associated with a careful stepwise process based on data, based on open communication, may not lead to where anybody wishes to go in any country, Mexico included.